Howdy, folks. You're listening to Demon Days, an actual play podcast with a focus on fiends and the friends who play them. We're back after a little bit of a break, and we've got a bunch of new episodes for your enjoyment, so we can't wait for you to listen to those. Wanted to give a quick shout out to KiloWhat, who does the artwork for our show. Amazing as always. Go check out her stuff. All the important links will be in the show description. And then I also wanted to point out that we have a Discord where all of us hang out, have a great time talking about all things nerdy, all things tabletop. There's something there for everyone, so come hang out with us. We can't wait to see you there. Let's get on with the show, shall we?
Friends, fiends, welcome to my 100th story. You are extremely lucky to be here right now. No need to hand me a menu. I've got my special ale and mayonnaise jug. Gonna call it Old Jugsy. Or something. Name's a work in progress. Now, where was I? Oh yes, Fetter's Aunt Tiamek came to call and dumped a bunch of chores in his lap. You know, as a family do. Anyway, we jump right back into our tale as Fetter asks some questions of his own, all in these Demon Days.
If that is your business concluded, may I ask several things of you?
You may. Is this stuff you wish to know in present company?
Yeah, I think that this mostly revolves around our current predicament, and I think that answers are owed to Tasland and Yusuf both for having my back and ferrying me this far safely. What does the family know of the towers and this cult and this seeming cooperation between devil and demon and some sort of manner to disrupt the blood war? I know that I'm sure you're aware that our family's good name is being dragged into several unseemlier parts of this, and perhaps mistakes made hundreds of years ago, or perhaps not, but there's many inferences and questions that have been raised in our travels, and I'd like to know at least what the family resource has managed to glean about these proceedings.
In terms of the towers and our involvement, I respectfully request that it's just you and me in that talk. There is family baggage.
Fair enough.
And she flits her eyes to both Yusuf and Taslan. I do not know them. If it's all the same, you can tell them when I leave, but I will not talk direct family business with outsiders.
Fair enough.
And she's not hiding. She was trying to, but she is very uncomfortable about that, and it's complicated. And you're reading, like, you're getting a lot more read, both of you. Mm-hmm. That this is a touchy subject.
Sure.
And it's a family subject.
Yeah, I just kind of lightly shrug a shoulder, knowing that eventually we'll hear about it.
Right, perhaps.
And she knows that, so it's more of like, it'd be better, easier to talk about.
She wants to be able to say that she's not the one that divulged the information.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Well, then let's perhaps a more elevated view of broader proceedings. What do you know of these tears and incursions from the abyssal plane? We heard tell in our travels that perhaps forays were even making into such obscure places as the Shadowfell and also the Prime Materia.
Turning those into battlegrounds, you say?
No, I mean, us personally, I don't know, but like us personally, we are endlessly beset upon by random tears in time and space and an influx of demonic presence.
That does seem alarming, in that in other instances of tower-related situations, that hasn't come up. This is the first I'm hearing of these things, these tears.
Could they be separate?
From what little I know on it, and she bristles having to say that, it could be that we are coming to a point of change in our war.
I'll cock an eyebrow at that.
Because it is known that our war with the demons of the abyss is eternal, never-ending. That is the task before us, to neither win nor lose. We are not supposed to gain, we are not supposed to lose in greater measure than the other. This is how it's been. Even when I was young and learning the ways of my station. It could be that there are forces at play attempting to change things. If that's the case, that is bad. And if it were me, if I were a strategist in this, and I'm not a war master by any stretch of the imagination, but I would find ways around the normal battlegrounds. Avernus is fucked. It's just always been fucked. It's a battleground. There is much war there. Igni has served a couple terms down there to fight, and it is not pretty, but it is ongoing. So if an enterprising sort were to try and skirt the main battleground and break into the material plane, the only thing I can think is that that would be a way to trigger outside forces to get involved. And if deities and elder ones get involved, which they shouldn't, then it could be we're looking at new battlegrounds happening. And if it's an all-out...
Perhaps there's resolution to the conflict.
Yes.
So,
and if it ends, well...
breaking the stalemate, tipping the scales, yes.
And I'm not going to lie, something like that does sound intriguing and exciting, but it is not the way of things. I'm to get the information that I get, continue my contracts, run the family business. This all goes away if the war is done. There is no point to our existence if we do not struggle against the abyss and strive to survive its advances. And if any battleground is destroyed and our souls lost, there goes our power.
Sure. Wealth, power, comfort. I mean, there's plenty of other reasons, honestly, than marshaling resources for an unending war, but whatever.
And it causes the archdukes, the leaders of the hells, to become erratic. She looks at everyone. This does not leave this room, but there has been some rumblings about Dispater and his control. And it ties into some stuff I need to tell you later. But there is a thought that he might not be fit. And such a thought is a dangerous thought. But more are having it. Phlegothos, in its recent upset, losing Belial to the paranoias of Fierna, her upsetting the balance of that contract. And there's been no word, from what I've heard, from Nessus. Nessus is quiet, too quiet. Naturally, there's a lot of stuff in the air, and this is alarming, but none of it connects, as far as I know, yet. There's just not enough. Unless that's the point. Unless this is supposed to be some kind of wild card. In which case, you may have more power than you think. But again, it's living information. It is information that is changing, growing, evolving. That's not where 100% of my resources are going at the moment. But that is what I know of that situation.
I think finally I would ask, what of your sisters? What of my aunts? What of Augur himself? How goes generally the order of the family?
Well, I can say just off the cuff that Augur is doing fine. He is in good health. His continual transformation into his final visage is going well and smoothly. He is fearsome, and I would say he is restless. He has not been called to any service of late, owing to some of Dispater's lack of action, and he feels he is not at best use where he is. Obviously, Igni and I have things taken care of in terms of the might and the knowledge. We're running the things, and he's in retirement, and he does not like that. So, naturally, he's involved in everything I do. More so than I would wish. But he's well. He's intrigued by what's going on the fringes, which you've all been dealing with. And, yeah. He's also been getting a lot of visits from Phlegothos, from various devils, agents of Phlegothos, very interested in our relationship with that level of hell, which I too am interested in figuring out once this is all done. He, that is, father, is very perturbed by their advances. Take that as you will, but it probably means that there's nothing to worry about timetable-wise for now. But there are meetings, there are visitations, they're all pleasant for now. But that Phlegethos has been very active, very agitated, very on the move. Not guided by any particular sense of wisdom or purpose other than reaction.
What of Igni, where swings her sword these days? How busy is herself and in these times?
She is busy training at the tower, at home. She has done some combat recently and has taken a sabbatical from it. But she is available. She is watching the communication. She is just focused on making Dad proud.
What of my mother? Sailing peacefully away on her level of the tower?
Insight check.
20. Dirty 20.
All right, yeah, dirty 20 as well. Just matched it. Haven't heard.
As a tumble wheel goes across.
Just stares.
She actually says, she turns to you and looks you dead in the eye. She seems fine, if a bit lonely. And then she looks at you directly, understanding that you're reading her. Just, she seems fine. What else could she be up to up there? Your mother is a mystery.
I'm just giving it right back.
Yeah.
That she is.
Yes. And as far as Fee goes, well, she is having the time of her life in Sky Point. And, frankly, if we need to send any agents, she's our only point of entry into that place for now.
What of Yarvel? Has her condition improved? I'm getting ready, John. Oh, yeah, 15, baby. It's 26.
26? Okay. She doesn't look at you directly. She looks at you askance like... She's been better, but she's just holed up in her place in the tower.
Well, at least she's comfortable and surrounded by family she loves.
There's a brief flicker across her face. And you two both catch it. Of just... There's a heat meter of, like, anger, because she knows her sister fucked off with Yarvel.
Yeah.
And there's, like, the heat meter just, like, it spikes for a little bit, and then calm.
And I'm just...
Calm.
Yeah, and I'm just like, are you going to admit to me that that's the case or not?
That she's not actually there.
Yeah. Cool.
She takes a sip of her drink.
Round 2, Fetter wins.
Gang, thanks for hanging on to this, like, Jane Eyre level of just, like, us...
I'm fucking here for it.
Yeah, just both of it. Like, yeah, take a sip.
This is
take
not,
a sip.
This is not Eustace's game.
Yeah.
He is not good at it, but he's here for it.
I'm counting every sip.
Oh no, it's great because this is absolutely Tassel's game. She's just used to playing it a different way, so seeing this play out,
So yeah, which then leads us to Parsival, who is right now on her hunt. She does this every so often. She steals souls from various planes and sends them out into her area of the tower and hunts them for sport. She is getting over the fact that you...
Bested her paramour?
Yes, you fucked her lover and she is not able to.
I would ask my final bit of business, as I've tried my best even in these unusual circumstances to maintain the family business, and since I'm being asked to take upon more missions in the family's employ, and as is my joy and as is my duty.
Yes.
Gag.
Should we please speak plain? I look at Noodle Boy too in this moment, and I'm just
He's just eating the bowl and just kind of like, he looks at you, stops mid-motion, freeze frame for him.
Yeah, just like, do we have some level of assurance that none of the family's emissaries or mercenaries or spies or fitting about our business, trying to drag me back to the tower at a moment's notice, at a flick of the wrist? Can I have some manner of autonomy, since I have, for by all accounts, been operating at a, least you can say, a successful or permittable level on my own?
Yes. And yes, I know Father has been asking for you to return. However, she takes a sip. Your
Counting every sip.
Yeah, your actions against Melanthar have endeared me to you enough to where I think you are better served as you are, where you are, doing what you are. I think you'll be of no use to the family at home in the tower. I know your mother will love to see you, but I think you are needed elsewhere.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Oh, baby. 19 on the die, which is...
30, 30.
just God tier, baby.
Combo breaker.
Guys, if you haven't really considered the Inquisitor rogue class, this is your shit.
Yes,
This is my D&D commercial. If this is your shit, if this is what you want in your heart, these moments, I can't recommend a better class than this one. So, John,
Yes.
fucking spill it, baby. Let's go.
She doesn't want you back at Dis at the moment.
Oh, she doesn't want me to go back.
She doesn't want you to. She doesn't
Of
want.
course not, because you're gonna fuck things up.
Oh, now I'm like, oh, maybe go back to death.
No, she doesn't want you back to see that she's lied. Like,
Yeah.
there's a big old foundation on stand here of some of the things she's told you.
A big blaring sign on the forehead: liar, liar,
Yes.
liar.
Now, the one that is true is
Yeah.
Augur.
Right.
He does want you back.
Sure.
He wants all the family back. But Tiamek does not.
Okay.
It is best that you stay here. Do as you will with the projects. That is why I've given you some extra work.
Well, I will say this to you, and please relay it to Igni and to Grandfather, that I do note and appreciate deeply the amount of trust and confidence you've placed in both myself, my compatriots, and my abilities. And I will continue to do my best to serve the family's interests.
You are a great asset to our family, Fetter.
That's just inside, just deep inside.
And you can even inside if you want, but there is...
That's all. That
The-
no,
there's-
I don't want to know if she's
The
lying
praise
on that.
button, the
Yeah,
praise
I
button
do
has
not-
been thoroughly stroked.
I do not want to. There's no insight there because I don't want to know if she's lying. I'm
Yeah.
just letting this one.
Yeah.
This is obviously truth.
Yeah, say it
Praise
again, John.
button.
There's no need to check.
Let's say that I'm a good boy again, John.
You're a good boy, Fetter.
You're a good boy, Fetter.
Yeah,
You
there
do
we
your
go.
family proud. You do the Zephin family proud. You bring power and honor and glory to
power.
what we do.
Yeah.
Keep it up.
Okay, I'm good. Well, I'm gonna go take a. Yeah.
Rub one out.
Yeah. The cigarette lights itself.
Unless you have other business to ask me.
Shall we? Why don't you have your convenings with my friends, and then we'll finish up with this information that you would like to relay to me on my own.
Indeed. Thank you. Thank you for understanding the need for that information to stay between us.
Certainly.
I guess I will wait here with whoever decides to talk first.
I'll take one, and I guess in spirit of fairness, hey Noodles, kick rocks, and I stand to to step out of the room.
She smirks. You catch a smirk, just like she nods to him. Yes, you may leave. He's just continuing eating his noodles, and they walk out the door.
Yusuf steps out.
And
Oh, okay, we're doing that. I was gonna.
oh wow, yeah,
Sure.
Yusuf, before anything ever happens, I will turn and very subtly. I'll try to very subtly look at Taz and just do like a telepathic are you gonna be okay? Just like, I'm not saying it out loud, but I'm definitely very very properly.
I just give you just the slightest twitch of yeah, I'll be fine.
And then I'll just the slightest I promise you, I'll be right outside. And then I'll step out into the hallway, and I'm definitely gonna try to like just keep that 26 perception just pinging.
Okay.
Just. Yeah. I want to honor Taslin's right to speak plainly, but I also want to know what my aunt's up to. So,
Of course, in my head, I'm going, fuck, I should have been by the door.
why wasn't I by the door? Yusuf quietly playing this all exactly the way he wanted to.
Yep.
Oh, you think I was there so I could be first out? That's not what's happening. Yusuf knows you two are smarter than him. He wants to make sure he's the last person to talk, so she can't use whatever the fuck she pulls out of him against y'all.
Sure.
I see. So the second that they all walk out and it's just the two of them, Taslin is going to lean back into the chair and pop her feet up
All right.
onto the other chair.
Hey. Guys, this
is how this game
is
is played.
supremely my shit. I'm into it. Let's go, guys. This is like a Tarrasque level fight of just wills, and I am so here.
So
I'm so horny for it.
The feet go up. The feet go up, and I will look directly at her as I close my journal with one hand and call my bird off of like whatever it was perched on to my other hand.
All right. And you've seen her so far so formal. And once Fetter left, Yusuf left, and Jojen left, she unhitches the books from her robe, loosens the robe, kind of opens it. There's a basic suit underneath. She pulls her hair back and just starts to pull it back just for a little bit more casualness. And pours herself more of a drink. Takes a drink, hands one to you. What do you think about our family? Let's start things off that way. What do you think about what we do, what Fetter does?
She likes what Fetter does.
Shush you.
I'm not there.
I know. Well, I mean, what Fetter does is not new to me. So I suppose it's like taking a sip of water at a certain point. Is it something that I dabble in? Maybe not quite the same way. As far as the family, at least he has one.
That is a good thing to have in these times. Where do you see this going with him?
So we're getting a little bit protective and here.
Get the protective personal shit out of the way before the business.
I suppose neither one of us have an end goal. We like it that way.
No end goal.
Surprising, isn't it?
Well, I like things that can be defined. She glances to where Jojen was.
Yeah, like Jojen's her sloppy little noodle boy, and that's all he'll ever be. God.
Are you
If you had
seeing
to-
me as his slave?
Are you? What is this thing you have? This is a Zephan, a family member. What are you to each other? Why does he trust you? And by extension, she takes a big sip. Why should I trust you?
As she sips, I start petting my bird. Petting the raven, kind of staring off as I contemplate something that I don't need to contemplate.
Cards on the table. You're a loose end. You're a risk. And I am fine with risk. Goddamn Fee is throwing risk everywhere. But what risk do you provide?
But doesn't that make some ends the best ends when they can be risky and when they can be just let go?
No risk is the best risk. Sure things are sure things. And they are good. It's like my many books. Defined. a cover on both ends.
Mm-hmm. But what fun is that?
She softens a little bit. I still have managed to have a lot of fun.
I kind of gesture to all the books in the room, and I'm like, clearly, I have a similar taste, even to my journal. I understand it to a point. But at the same time, when you've read enough books, it's the same thing. Again and again. Sometimes you need some surprise.
It's hard to argue that. So, Phlegethos.
What about it?
I don't know if Fetter has imparted this, but we have ways of telling where we're from, what we hail from. It's a little bit more obvious for people like me, for Fee, for Zephiel, for all his aunts. We exude our realm into the material plane, and we impose it. There's an echo of that. Just what is your relationship to your heritage, to your Phlegethos legacy? Do you even know it? Open-ended? Like what you have with Fetter. It's just, who knows?
It closely resembles that, I suppose.
Is that not something you wish to claim hold of, information-wise? Do you not wish to understand what makes you infernal in the way that Fetter knows? For himself, he is of Dis. He is an Iron Boy. She smirks, kind of evilly.
Yeah, he is an Iron Boy, that's for sure.
Hashtag Iron Boy.
Is it something that I would enjoy learning? Absolutely. Is there anything that I have the ability to learn from? Or a person? No.
Like, maybe why you were chased by the Hell Riders?
So you know of them?
I do. They are a very interesting quirk of Fierna's paranoia. Were her shock troop, her search squad. She borrowed from every one of us. From Dis, from Cania, all the hells.
They sound like they're a thorn in your side.
I don't know to what end she does what she does, but she is on her own mission, crusade, and somehow you're involved. Somehow your infernal line is involved. Just curious why that doesn't seem to attract more attention from you. I come from family. Fetter's from family. That's all we have. This is the infernal, this is our world, is each other and our business. Do you not wish to understand your business? Why there is some leader in one of the hells seeking out someone of similar circumstance to you?
If you have some information on that course, certainly enlighten me.
Well, that can be for another time. Maybe you can visit my tower at some point, and we can hash out that information. I mainly wanted to get a read on you. And just a warning. Don't hurt him.
Well,
Because Fiona may be vindictive, vile, and relentless, but I am so much worse.
I kind of put my feet down and I lean forward. I don't have any intention of hurting him, if that's what you're wondering about.
She does ease a bit. Good.
And what is your judgment on me?
I still think there is a lot of risk and question around you, and it is more than I'm used to, but you have a point of it, that is intriguing. And she eyes you for a bit and then leaves that thought hanging.
When she finishes her sentence, actually, I will reach over, take her drink, take a sip from it, and say, sometimes it's better to be out of the box.
Fee's gonna love you. And she lets that slip out. And she corrects herself. Okay, the fun stuff is out of the way. We need to talk about this little thing. this rogue element, this risk, this open-ended thing that seems to be on our plate. I mentioned to Fetter, and you realize that now that she's engaged with you, she's much more comfortable with you. Phlegethos is interested in him. We were given to him by a particularly pathetic sot named Cheshire. He handed him off to us on a whim. I don't know how he found Igni, and Igni's not that attentive to care. Just contracts. But I care. We have a line to Belial in our care, and it is not good for the family. Granted, father, or 1,000-year to you, he's been meeting with agents of Phlegethos. Fiona has requested visitation with him. She is frothing. He is upset at her for killing Belial. He doesn't want to meet with her, but that's not going to last forever. So, in the spirit of your open-endedness, your risk, there's considerable risk here with this little thing. And I'd be curious what your thoughts are, what you wish to do, and what we can do for you. And she looks over down at her books, her contracts. What can we work out with this? You haven't met Fee yet, but she shouldn't keep him.
I down the drink, set the glass aside.
In a fluid movement, she's poured some for herself and you as well.
So tell me something I don't know.
Well, in full disclosure, there will come a time that if a good deal is reached, if we get a good offer, we will act on it. We don't have the stake in this except for power and prestige, knowledge, information. I understand that talking about family, someone else's family in terms of objects, is not, talking about them as objects is not perhaps the most polite thing. But you seem much more interested in honesty. He is a tool for us in trading, in currying favor, and if it's good enough, we'll take it. And then we have no work we need to do.
Well, I mean...
So, just putting it out there to you, that unknown will figure it out. So if there's anything you know, again, just let's dispense with the bullshit, the politeness. She even slumps a little bit and just takes another sip. Chugs down her drink. What can we do about this?
Well, you do assume that A, he's family, and B, that I even see him as family.
I do. I make that assumption.
Those are all things that I have no idea about. Yes, he is attached to Cheshire, has obviously some connection, whether it's safe to assume just from his looks that son, from who or what or where or when, no idea. Why he would pawn him off to you or your family,
yes,
is a little unknown, but not unheard of from him.
I get the sense that this Cheshire fellow is not... He may be more risky than even you, in that his actions are not guided by anything but reaction. But it just puts us all in a very complicated place. I hope you understand.
I think he's more in for the thrill of the gamble than anything.
God, so many people that Fee would just really get along with. I don't get it. You sense that the chaotic nature... part of this is also trying to understand it. I don't get it. Why is this exciting? But also, how can you not have so much control over anything? Well, that was all of my questions. That's all I have. I feel it only fair I can answer any of yours before we get to the big guy outside.
I take a drink from the glass that she filled up, and then I pass it back to her. Just kind of slide it across the table.
She takes it and drinks it.
You took a look at your book over there, hinting at contracts.
Yes.
That's obviously the way of your family, as we've clearly established. What exactly are you wanting to offer?
Well, I mean, and it's the first time that you sense resemblance, family resemblance. There's all manner of things we can do, all manner of contracts and services we can come up with. I mean, there's really, the sky's the limit. The hell's the limit, really. I think we can stay things off a little bit more. I feel like we could keep things square and safe for this unknown element of yours until you figure it out. But maybe we get access to this place. Maybe we can come to some sort of arcane arrangement. We help you in ways you need, and we help with this little thing problem. And we gain access to your teleportation. But that's not without saying you'll get that as well. I'd be willing to teach you.
I put my feet back up.
So see, there's a lot of things we can come to together. Think it over, you know?
There's a lot of people wanting access to this place.
Yes. With the history of this place, the fact that it can't be held for very long, the fact that it's an underground keep. It's a fortress underground. Very weird. But it has access to the material plane. And we'd love access.
I actually reach into my tarot deck pouch and pull it out and start just kind of shuffling it.
Okay.
See, the problem with everybody wanting access to this place and the bet that just waiting out, if it's not an agreeable arrangement, just waiting out until it passes to the next hand. The problem is that no one really anticipates a trump card. And I pull out a card from the deck and I throw down the devil, which has my face on it. And I stand up and I walk out.
Okay.
Hot damn.
And yeah, you step out.
Yusuf hears the door open and he sticks his head out of the larder. The door, he's like, "Am I up?"
Yep.
Yeah, it's your turn.
Okay. Now, Fetter.
Be a boy and get my card back.
Fetter, you would have heard
under my breath, be a boy and get my card back.
He walks out and slurps down an oyster and tosses the shell in the room, and he's like, "Got it."
Don't fuck my aunt.
He comes walking in. And as he walks in, he just gives Fetter a little wink.
Yeah, Fetter, you got to hear bits and pieces. I would say
Sure.
It's enough to be curious enough to ask Taslan. You maybe didn't quite catch some of the specifics of when they got more casual and started talking about wheeling and dealing.
Sure.
But more of the information you could catch pretty easily.
Yeah.
It's not like Tiamek was being very quiet. Tiamek has composed herself within the time it took you to get into the room. Hasn't put her robe, closed her robe more formally, but she pours another drink in the same glass that Taslan was using and pushes it to the end of the table where you are going to sit, and she motions you to sit. Please sit.
Which chair is that? The one across
That
from
one.
her?
Yep.
So as you sit down, you notice that one of my tarot cards is on the table.
Yeah, that's not where he sits. He sits in this one.
Next to her.
He's sitting next to her.
Okay,
cool.
Interesting.
But you also notice that a tarot card is down on the table facing you, and it's the devil, and it's me on the card.
Okay.
Yeah, she is actually kind of surprised by where you sit. I see. That is fine with me. She reaches over, moves the drink over in your way. Please, do me the politeness and drink up. She takes her own sip. So, first couple things out of the way. What are your plans for Fetter? What do you aim to achieve with him? What is this relationship you have? I know that is a few questions. But let's start there.
He just kind of looks at her the whole time as he drinks the goblet and sets it down, emptying.
Nice.
Like, he's a friend.
Interesting. That is... I hear that word used. But what does that mean to you? If given a choice between him or his family, does that mean you choose him? What if it's not so clear-cut?
Pretty obvious. I cut the head off of that fucking cat pretty quickly.
Well,
So,
I guess in the spirit of honesty and the fact that I have been drinking a little bit, do you plan on hurting him? Hurting the family in any way? You don't strike me as the type of person who appreciates the work we do, the contracts we come up with, and I just assigned him a few very questionable things.
you did. One of which has my particular interest.
I'm interested in that. Let's detour. She pours you another drink. What is this particular interest of yours?
He picks up his goblet and he says, I think you're one behind. And he starts drinking the rest of the...
She smirks.
So Yusuf's just having a drinking contest. I love it.
I got him started. I got her started, and you're gonna pick it up.
She takes her drink. Okay. I'll bite. What is this interest of yours?
Well, to answer your first question, well, your second one, I suppose it was. No, it's the fourth. You asked three, and I answered with one answer. So we'll move on to this. And he drinks the rest of the goblet.
We went from open-ended to two people that are very into, here's the rule set, here are the boundaries.
Yeah.
We're going to play in the lines when I was like, call her out of the lines.
Yeah. You get the sense that for what you were trying to do, that makes more it works against her in a different way. This is very structured.
I'm sorry, what was your question?
What is this interest you have in our assignments? What is this particular... Which one? Which assignment that I gave him that I expressed was interesting to you? I would like to hear you say it. I think I have a guess. I do have a guess.
What's your guess? I'm excited to hear that.
I think you have something about that mage in Skypoint. You seem particularly interested.
He might fuck your aunt.
He might fuck my aunt. That's fine. That's okay. Like, listen, if it's like either of you fuck my dad or someone fucks one of the aunts, like, whatever, like, that's fine. Sure. I've accepted that this is probably going to happen. That's fine.
He says, you would be correct. It is the mage.
What has he done to you? Don't strike me as someone who would be messing around with archmages.
No,
Unless he messed with you first.
he did.
Did he go down to Cania and slap you on the ass and call you green?
No.
Elaborate.
Is that what you're into?
God, sex worker Yusuf is weird.
Listen, it's not about what I like, but I do like information. What did he do to you? What is his deal? Her eyes kind of narrow a bit. Like, what is he about?
Yusuf takes a moment, and he also focuses, and he says, let's just say your fears are my fears when it comes to family. And he trespassed on that line. So, if you wish him dispatched and someone else put in their place, that may happen regardless of a contract.
She eyes her book. Well, why don't we make it interesting, useful? What can we do for you in exchange for ousting the most powerful archmage in Material Plane? What do you think that deserves? Because, frankly, retribution doesn't pay any bills. Doesn't get you nice things.
No.
Just leaves a bit empty in you.
The need's filled.
Sometimes it fills a void that needs to be filled.
Let's say I want his secrets and the secrets of the archmages. What makes them live forever? What makes them live so long? What gives them all the power? Let's say I want that. Let's say I want that information, the source of their power, his power. The other one seems nice enough. But I want to know what he's about. What can we give you? What can House Zephon give you for that? And she has eased up just a contract, or like a template contract ready to go, just kind of tapping it now with her fingers.
Oh man, the sexual tension that's going on right now, you guys.
Yusuf says, "Oh, I don't need anything in writing for that. That's not what friends do."
Friends? Ah, you want to be friends. I see. I'll think it over. She scoots the contract into you. Write something down, some ideas, and maybe we'll figure that out. Surely you want something.
What I have and what I had was enough. But that was taken away,
She realizes the implications.
and now I'm gonna get what I can of it back.
She goes pretty serious. She looks down. Bring this to me, and I will personally try to restore what was taken. However we in the hells can.
He thinks for a second. He's like, I don't think he went there. I mean, he is a trash talker. And, I mean, he was a son of a bitch, but he was a good son of a bitch. I don't know how much you can help with that. Unless, and he leans in, like, and puts his elbow on the table, and like, unless you have the ability to barter souls past the prime, if you can get somebody from, I don't know, say Elysium or the heavens, do you have that kind of power? Can you make that deal?
She seems intrigued. Can I make that deal?
Do you have the resources to make that happen?
I think we do. And a friend of yours suggested that risk can be a good thing. So why not? Why not? I've got a little bit of the chaos rubbed off on me. Let's do it. She slides the paper your way. Let's exchange all the dirty little secrets of Bonham the Bane for a chance at reunion?
Exchanging something, while somewhat, that's the word I'm looking for, intangible, for something that has a chance of something. While intangible, it still is a solid thing. For a chance at something that could happen, that doesn't seem like a fair trade to me. So tell you what.
All right,
And
counteroffer.
he slides the paper back to her. He's like, when you can guarantee me the legwork has been done to make that happen, then we can talk. And he pours her another drink, and himself.
I'm amenable to this. We can do it. I think we'll make it work.
He takes another sip. Like, what else did you want to know?
She stops for a moment, kind of changes gears, or switches gears, as it were. Maybe more so a word of caution. If you happen across a particular sister of mine, a little fire starter named Fee, be careful. She is looking to be a patron to somebody. She needs a new toy. Just be careful.
She wants to be a patron to somebody? As in
She leans forward.
another house?
No, she wants her own paladin.
Oh, I see.
She wants to be mommy.
So just a heads up. I probably shouldn't have said anything, but be ready for a hard sell.
He kind of cocks his head a little bit. What if I'm not interested in her?
She, well, that is,
Do you think she'd get the point if I told her no?
perhaps. She might, if she senses that there's no chance, then yes.
What's she into?
Oh.
Your sisters, you must talk.
Well, I think you can see some of what I'm interested in.
I'm sorry, some of what you're interested in? No, I meant her.
Her. Well,
We can talk about what you're interested in after this, if you want.
Yes. She likes playthings. She gets an idea and goes for it. Her new idea is she wants a holy warrior to serve as her agent of chaos. She has expressed this many times, and we have tried to suggest that maybe that's not the wisest for her, but she is interested in messing around. Trying, how do they say it on the material plane? Fucking around and finding out.
I can understand that. So she wants a paladin as a trophy?
Yes. A trophy who can smash things for her.
I see.
Cut things and cause trouble, but just enough.
Good to know.
And she'll, the minute I say that I've met a paladin, she will want to know everything about you.
You should tell her then.
I will. I'll let her know.
So, that out of the way, he drinks the rest of his glass and kind of like motions to hers again. Again, I think you're falling behind. He sets it down. He's like,
yes.
So what are you into? Seeing as how, some of the chaos has rubbed off on you.
I like books.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, as soon as we're done, after you're done talking to Fetter, I actually have a book you might be interested in.
Indeed.
It's
What kind of things can you show me?
Oh, show you? I was talking merely about a book.
Oh, okay. What is this book?
Just like a tract. It's just like a chick tract for the Eldath. Yeah. Have you met Eldath? Like,
So you missed the perfect pickup line when she was like, I like books. You totally could have been like, well, how about I open you like one?
oh,
Let Daddy play.
let Daddy play the game.
Daddy Yusuf, guys.
I hope you're all enjoying this as much as we are.
People
We're
have been
sitting
calling
here making so many faces
sweating.
in the background. If we
People have
were
been
live
calling Yusuf
streaming
Daddy
this-
for a long time on the threads. I'm trying to live up to what y'all want.
Sweaty.
Like, well, I don't have it on me, but in my room, I have a book you might be interested in.
Well, we still have to take this tour, apparently.
That's true. Maybe I could give it to you then.
Are we going to have a three-way?
Let's...
Is it going to be Noodle Boy?
Johnny's face is horrified right now.
I said we, and I was like, I'm not fucking my aunt. No, Noodle Boy sits in the corner and eats noodles. That's what Noodle Boy does. He sits and slurps the noodles.
he slurps all kind of noodles.
While Yusuf is just railing my aunt.
It's a deep cut coming. It's a deep cut coming, folks.
And
Yusuf has a noodle that he can slip.
oh yeah, and she just keeps looking at Noodle Boy while she's getting railed, and it just keeps asking, "How you like them noodles?" And he goes, "Mm-hmm," and that's the whole thing.
Delicious.
Yes.
Sounds like Pizza the Hut's sidekick.
Well, then our business is temporarily concluded.
Oh.
We can resume this when you are interested in showing me that book.
That sounds good.
Gotta watch the uptight ones, guys. You gotta keep an eye out.
He reaches over, like, I'll just take care of this for you, and downs her goblet and sets it down. And he walks around the table, just kind of like lays a finger on her shoulder, across her back to the other shoulder, and he picks up the card Tasselin left and then walks out the door.
Okay.
I see him kind of walking out. I'll cross back in.
While all this is happening, though, I have walked over to Noodle Boy and literally taken is he using, I'm assuming he's using chopsticks. fork, something, whatever
Yeah.
utensil he's using, I have taken it and started eating the noodles.
Oh, you're eating
too.
noodle boys noodles?
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Get out of here.
they don't seem too bothered.
I know.
It's good. It's good stuff.
I'm just gonna walk it.
He walks out the door, walks past Fetter, is like, your aunt's hot. Walks over, like, here you go, devil, and hands off the card. He's like, I'll be in my bunk.
Take it, and I'm just like, called it.
I'm gonna walk back in and just be like, and as I'm sitting down, just very casually be like, has it gotten warm in here? Oh, that I fucked it up. 16. That's me fucking it up. You just wait. Reliable talent is coming, you fuckers.
She smirks, reaches a hand out, like kind of to say something, and then just like kind of lightly flicks you off.
Okay. Yeah. That wouldn't that be the case?
Yes.
Well, I would say, my aunt, please feel free to extend your stay as long as you feel the need. The house is yours, of course.
I guess it is.
How were my compatriots? Did you chew them up and spit them out, show them no mercy?
More so, they interest me. They seem to care for you quite a bit. They have no ill intentions to the family that we can discern. They're both pretty. Your lady friend. There's a lot of chaos in her future, and it seems that she is fine with that unknown, and that is very weird to me. Just keep that in mind. We have a very rigid house, you understand. I am concerned at things that are open-ended, that are question marks, because those can hurt us, and I don't want us to be hurt. I don't want you to be hurt, and I know that may seem disingenuous.
Yeah, well,
But-
I appreciate your concern. However, I would say that you know my relative disdain for the idea of fated star-crossed lovers and their dalliances across time and memoriam and the tales of bards. So perhaps something a bit more chaotic is appealing to me. It will be what it is.
I threw
There's
out an offer to her, and
Yes?
she does interrupt you. I threw out an offer to her, offered to teach her some of what we know magically in terms of the arcane, but a nice little devil card. So we'll see how that shakes out. I thought I should let you know. I sense, despite the chaos, I do sense some power there.
Certainly.
Might be fun to foster that. I don't know.
Would you see me drawn to anything less, given the house I'm from?
No. And that other friend of yours, fascinating fella.
That he is.
Kania doesn't seem so cold.
Big heart.
She says that you catch, you're able to in your perception realize that she knows that you know, like
Yeah.
she knows that you know something's going on, and she decided to prod it.
It's a very big heart. And kind eyes.
Ah, those eyes.
And
Much more into the big hearts.
yeah. Well, it's nice to know that all of the warmth and caring wasn't frozen out of him in that abyssal, terrible place. Anyway, to the very unpleasant business at hand.
Yes.
My
yes.
dearest aunt, what the fuck did we do? What did we do?
She pours the remainder of the bottle she had, the what was left. Actually, doesn't pour it in the glass. She just drinks the bottle.
And Fetter's old fashioned still like on the table, and he just takes like a very slow sip of it.
I feel like you need to know some things about the Tower of All and about our part in it. And I'm loath to explain it. Just putting that out there. But it is only fair. You gave me a lot of information. I should give you a lot of information. But, okay, let me just start. She seems uncomfortable for the first time. Definitely different from the poised, aggressive way she entered. So Yarville. This is quite some time ago. Yarville and daughters. She had daughters. They decided that Dispater couldn't cut it. Those rumors I told you about of things being not so great in the leadership.
They go back that long?
Yeah. They thought they could overthrow Dispater. She kept it very secretive, for the most part. I kind of knew something was up. Didn't necessarily approve, but didn't not approve. You know how it is. We all have machinations. Just some outside of their station. She shot for the stars in this case. Well, they weren't careful. They were sloppy. Somehow, the wind of that got to Dispater, and he was quite pissed at us.
So the soul collection, the imprisonment, the building of the battery, all of that was Yarville's alone? The building of the tower?
Well,
I mean, the tower existed previous to that.
yes.
But the weaponizing of the tower?
That was hers, and by proxy our punishment. We would have been stripped of everything. Title, station, your aunts, my sisters, and I would have had a very fun time in Avernus. Forever. So, Augur, father, did what he's loath to do, and he begged.
Augur beg?
He begged Dispater, shamefully, but for us, to keep our station. And the deal was that we would mess around with this tower. We would retrofit it and make it a planar augur of some kind, something that would pierce the veil of the material plane and cause a disruption in the material plane and make it more susceptible, more ready, whatever that means.
So what was...
The punishment.
Yeah, so what was Yarville's intent with the tower before it was weaponized? The collection of the souls, the battery,
Yeah.
just like a large funnel of power?
Yeah.
And the overthrow of Dispater, who did she imagine would take the seat? Augur? Herself?
She almost says I can't ask her that.
Right.
I've tried asking her. But you know how she is.
Yes.
And the punishment, though. The punishment was that the test run would be Yarville's daughters. They were the initial run of that. We didn't know. You can insight that.
Oh, yeah. 100%. Oh, natural 20. So that's 31.
For someone who likes to be the machinations of things and have everything in working order and detailed, she didn't know what the punishment was going to be.
Wow.
She was surprised, and it is embarrassing. You read that, she is having a hard time even saying this to you.
Right.
It was the last seal of vengeance, and...
So, it seems that, no offense, but you were unawares that my cousins would be sacrificed, but do you think Augur knew? Tell me plain.
I've tried to ask. I've asked many times. I don't know. I really don't know.
Why erase them from the family? Why? I mean, I understand the shame, but what's the point of a lesson learned if you strick it from the history books?
That's why it doesn't make sense. It's vindictive. Phlegethos is vindictive. Fierna is vindictive. Dispater? I've played it over and over again. To watch that happen, the betrayal, how it happened. There's so many pieces that I should have figured out, and yet I didn't. This is why I've saved this for last.
So was the cracking of Edgewater, was that the intended result, or was it more a test to the refinement that we saw at the mountain in Grisnorval?
That seems likely. Or it could just be that that's the purpose of it. Destroy the land. When you were there, did it seem like the land was corrupted?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Yes.
Black inky
Yeah,
shit all
yeah.
over the place
No,
that
but
had to
like-
burn away. Like,
No, but that was Edgewater. I'm talking about Grisnorval, right? We're talking about Grisnorval. We walked out of there, it was all snowy and shit.
Yeah, no, stuff didn't really change because something happened that interrupted the whole process before
Right, right.
it
The
happened.
battle.
Before it
So
happened.
I was still on the boat of the tower. So
Oh,
at the
okay,
tower,
sorry. Yeah.
the tower, the area was affected, but where you were, it wasn't.
Correct.
So I mean, the only theory I could have is that it was preparing the place. But again, it doesn't make sense with what you guys happened unless that was interrupted.
Yeah.
But if it's a preparation, that means there's more questions, and I don't like
The
that.
machine that was being trucked here was identical to the one at Grisnorval. And what I can't cotton is if we're trying to anticipate when the next convergence of these things will be. Obviously, the height of the new year holds some significance that we can't quite parse out. I can't imagine another significant astronomical event will happen for some time. But it seems like preparations are being made, or at least they were here. And, we haven't had any notion of further cult activities trying to pick up where those left off. What of this cult? What of this group? What do you know of them? Were they Dissipator's foot soldiers once the Tower of All was weaponized? Are they involved with our family, or are they two separate things? Did they come to power after Dissipator's punishment was meted out?
I hate being seen like this.
But you don't know?
No. That's why I wanted to talk to you, to get your side of it, to understand. Fuck.
Like, I think, like, Fetter, like, gets out of the chair and is, like, pacing a little bit, like...
Okay, I haven't been honest. I don't know where your mother is.
I know.
She fucking took Yarvel and absconded with her. Just left. And she looks over, and you're aware of that too.
And here I spent the first part of our meeting overly concerned that... no. There's a lot to learn, and there's both disappointment and reassurance that I don't know. And he just looks very like with a genuine sense of adoration and say, like, I figured you had the answers. At least some of them. You usually do. There's comfort in that.
How can I help? You get the answers. And how can I help get answers? It seems that whatever's going on is beyond order. And as such, she sighs, that causes problems for me.
Right. The best we can tell is that there's 4 towers, north, south, east, and west, and we think that this mountain that we sit so deeply underneath is the southern point of importance. That's why the cult was coming here. And I know the storied history. There's almost too much history. There's layers and layers and layers of occupants and overthrows and usurpers to this place. But why here? Let's say this all worked. Let's say the machine actually fired the way it was meant to. What would be the end result? A cracking of the world? Mentally subduing everyone the way that we were subdued and called to the mountain? Like, to what end? To what purpose? How does this... is it open a doorway? An invasion point? Another tear? A large tear?
You see the gears working in her head, like,
Yeah.
she's starting to theorize. What was it you said? She starts to reach for her notes a little bit. About the Shadowfell? Did you mention something briefly, or did he not? About just battleground.
Just
like,
tossed...
what was it you were saying about?
that might have been in the book. That might have been a message in the book.
No,
No,
I
it
said
wasn't.
something.
He actually said something.
I said one tiny little thing that I'm going.
Yeah, when he was talking about tears, he also dropped the Shadowfell, and Taslin gripped him. Was like,
Yeah.
what
She's
are you doing?
kind of trying to pull at something, but it could be something, maybe not. You get the sense that she's searching.
I've heard as you can see, our valet, shall we say, who we found scattered around the camp with Ezekiah's soldiers, comes from Mechanus, a modron of sorts, and a quite useful and sturdy one himself. And what little, though he does not currently possess a connection to Modron Prime, he did inform us a bit of some extraplanar incursion points, not so dissimilar to the tears that we experienced in our own right. And I'm theorizing here, but what if by poking around the edges of, again, there's a separate entrance to either the prime material or a circumnavigation of Avernus that someone's attempting.
Like changing the theater of war, changing the battleground.
I mean, imagine a large-scale incursion and from some unexpected plane, right? A certain amount of the forces would have to be broken away to either cause said incursion or to fight against it. That would displace the balance in Avernus and upend the cycle, as it were, in a way that hasn't been attempted in any sort of way that I can recall.
And what if that's the case and this bleeds into these areas, that gets others involved in our war? Maybe who shouldn't? What if the above?
The thing that chomps at me with all of us being from different lineages, and to be fair, there's another we've come across in our path that we've purposefully kept away from our group, Candace, who's plagued by dreams of some sort of prophetic importance, and we thought her best to be sent far away from the rest of us. And, what was her background? We kind of figured out her background, right?
Yeah, she had some anger issues.
Well, no, like her
bloodline.
Her bloodline.
Yeah, wasn't
her bloodline
she
was
similar to Sam, or was it completely different?
It was completely different, and I think it was Malbolge, but I have to double check.
Yeah.
Good job. I don't know whether that was intentional, calling her Candace instead of Cadence, but good job.
She sounds like a real fucker.
Yeah, it's a real pain in the ass. And I believe that she came from a bloodline in Malbolgia, and our former traveling companion from Grisnorvald hailed from
Cadence was Beelzebub.
Oh, Beelzebub.
Yeah, Beelzebub, and our former traveling companion, who's was a child of Avernus, and I don't know. There's also the sneaking suspicion as we're chased around by Fiona's riders and other agents from across the Hells, some of which are our own families, and, House Temper's agents from Dispater. It seems that it's not always one-sided. There's devils that appear on the heels of demons, and demons on the heels of devils, and doors and tears that open when one or the other are encountered. And I almost wonder, perhaps it's my own high estimation of our own side of this war, that could some of the archdevils be trying to parlay or make use or goad the abyssal side to their own ends. I don't know. There's too many nights sitting up, keeping watch over my friends, trying to piece out what all this means.
Too many open books.
Too many open books.
I don't like it. I don't like it. But to that point, I
apologize if I seem disappointed. Truly.
It makes sense.
But
the information I'm giving you is disappointing.
I believe we will head to Skypoint. I'll speak plainly. It was on our to-do list anyway. I'm glad to see you have some structured events and needs of us there that can help kind of lay a path in what is a large and kind of winding city.
And maybe be a distraction temporarily from what's going on.
Sure.
Well, to buy us time to figure this out.
One last bit of local business, if you don't mind, and we can...
Yeah.
Something happened here, and again, there's a long, sordid history, but it seems the immediately previous occupants, or perhaps a scouting party of some sort, befell kind of a curiously tragic end. We have kind of moved them out a bit to clean up the place, which we found in a state of relative disarray, but there was a momentary flash, it seems, based on the compulsion and the composition of the folks that we found littered about the fold, that petrified all of them instantly. One of which is a tiefling that bears the markings of Cania. I don't know if she was a mercenary or perhaps the leader. It's hard to say. You'll find them assembled in the courtyard over there. And are you aware of such a magic or a curse or a divine assault that would render 8 people or more petrified across a span of a few hundred feet instantaneously?
No, I don't. I know of the Medusa's stare. If you find one that can petrify you, I know that the basilisk has secretions that can cause petrification, and I know that there's fringe research that would suggest that can be weaponized in some way or controlled. But there's a lot of fringe, and frankly, the only ones pursuing it were the Illithid in their time.
Well, one of our stony friends happens to be an Illithid, so perhaps there are some answers there. But yes, if you don't mind lending your immense knowledge to this, be greatly appreciated. And
I will look into it.
Yeah, I dare say, it seems, well, I appreciate the home away from home, our tiny band, and perhaps with the aid of House Zephyr, trying to hold the Fallhold seems like a fool's errand, but, yeah, any elucidation we could get would be appreciated.
Do you think, in your opinion, we should apply resources to this place? Is that...
If our friends are amenable, I don't think... It seems like it is never anyone's for long. So my recommendation is that we apply resource and make use of it as long as it is useful. But I am loath to commit too much to a place that has never been successfully held on to for very long.
That is true.
It is a place of comfort. It is the first time we've had perhaps a steady place off the road in quite some time. Since the new year, really.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I can't shake the feeling that history does tend to repeat itself in these matters. But enough of this. I appreciate you coming. I really do. Truly. And I hope we've plied you with enough drink, and perhaps we should offset that with a bit of food and dinner, and we can show you around the grounds.
Yes, indeed. And then maybe we can figure out, you said you were going to Sky Point. We can...
Yes.
We can figure something out with that.
It came at great cost and great application of time and effort to bury ourselves under this mountain. So if there were a more expeditious way to get back across the continent, we'd be happy to take you up on it.
She smirks. I think we could get Fee amenable to this.
Okay. Well...
Just, she says that in the sense of, like, Fee is irritating me.
Sure.
She doesn't like to be, like, cycling people through the palace, wrecking her game. I think we can invade in her a little bit.
And to be fair, I don't think we would want any sort of access immediately to the palace. That we can make our own way there. I think time to get our bearing in the city, plot and plan would be of greater appreciation. Also, what's the end goal with Fee? Do we want her... shall we shake the bell before the cat and draw her away? Should we send her home to grandfather? Or wait until she becomes disinterested, moves along of her own accord?
She is playing at something. Otherwise, she would be. We could ring the bell, and maybe I haven't rung it enough, but maybe see what you can suss out of her.
Yes, well...
she might be hiding something.
Certainly, and no offense to the lofty family name, but she's not the brightest of us.
No. But if anyone can suss out her deal, maybe you can.
Perhaps. At least get her pants back.
Her pants?
Yeah, it's a story. And I stand up and I offer her my arm to kind of walk out of the room. And
all right, thank you. And she takes it, politely as ever, and yeah, you guys leave the room.
Looks like Tazlin isn't the only one who's got some chaos waiting for them in Skypoint. That Fee character sure sounds like some kind of hot mess. But don't worry, we'll get to that business soon enough. Believe you me. Right now, though, Captain Jugsalot and I... Wow. Still a work in progress, but Captain Jugsalot and I still have plans for the rest of the evening. So raise your barrel, raise your glass, raise whatever the hell it is that you're holding to the next 100 stories from these Demon Days.
Said Felial. Jesus F.
Belial.
Filial fellatio.
Right. From what I've heard from Nessus. Mm-hmm. Nessus is quiet. Too quiet.
Like the first noise that Yusuf's made in like 10 minutes is just like
Naturally there's a lot. I went to a Liam I went to airplane joke in my head just there. It broke me. I was like, tell me something I don't know. Hippos can, like the random fact. And I couldn't pull one out, so I was like, I got lost in the movie. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So I down the drink. Tell me something I don't know.
So I don't know where this is gonna end. This might be a outtake or whatever, but I just want to say that to all of you listening who followed us around for the last 100 episodes, that it's been a goddamn pleasure. I am thrilled to share the table with these yahoos and Sam out there in the Great East. We miss you deeply and dearly. Everyone that's ever done art, KiloWhat. Everyone on the Discard, everyone that's ever reviewed or tweeted or liked or followed. We appreciate you so goddamn much. And this is just a joy for my life. And we're glad that you can join us in it and have some laughs and shed some tears and kill some monsters sometimes. So, yeah. So go, be well. We love you. And we'll see you real soon.